Hello there and welcome to day 3 of the Pain-Free Breakthrough Challenge. So just to let you know, in this challenge I am sharing content from my comprehensive Pain-Free Breakthrough program, which is a fully comprehensive pain recovery program that I created based on my experience in chronic pain coaching and on my studies. And basically I'm sharing the same lessons but in shorter format, and also the tasks that I'm giving you after every day, they are taken from my Pain-Free Breakthrough program. So if you're interested to continue with this program beyond this challenge, you can purchase it from my website, www.PainOutsideTheBox.com. I'll be providing links further on as well. Okay, so day 3. So today I just wanted to explain a little bit what I mean by mind-body syndrome, or TMS, okay? So basically yesterday we looked into certain objections you might have about your symptoms being totally physical or partially structural, and maybe you think that this approach won't work for you because, yeah, you have problems in your body. And I addressed some of those objections by showing you that just because your body isn't perfect or you have certain degeneration or imperfection, it doesn't mean that the intense pain or symptoms you might be experiencing is coming all from that problem. In most cases, with people who actually try this approach and really work on it, they realize that their symptoms were totally unrelated to other structural issues that they've identified or that they've been diagnosed with. So keep an open mind. I'm just going to explain to you quickly what we mean by mind-body syndrome. So as some of you know, it was Dr. John Sarno who came up with the term TMS to explain all these chronic symptoms, intense symptoms that people weren't kind of able to recover from via conventional treatments. So he noticed this distinction between those people, let's say, who were injured and had physical therapy and they had a sort of linear recovery, and those people who never seemed to be able to recover. So some of them didn't even have an obvious injury. Their pain just came apparently out of nowhere, and they weren't responding to treatment, to steroid injections, to PT, to surgery even sometimes. So he started asking questions, and this is how he discovered that there was something else at play. So according to Sarno's theory, it is actually our repressed emotions that cause all sorts of intense physical symptoms in the body. And that's because when we repress our emotions, let's say we're really angry about something over the long term and we kind of downplay it or deny it because we want to keep the peace or we want to be seen as good, forgiving people and so on, that anger tends to be stuck inside of us, okay? And whenever we encounter a trigger that reminds us of that hurtful issue, it reminds us of how angry or hurt we are then more prone to experiencing pain instead. Because if we're not allowing those emotions to flow in some way, if we're not even acknowledging them to ourselves, okay, that causes a buildup of anger, tension, and pressure. And as we know from day one, this long-term distress, this long-term buildup of fear, anxiety, worry, and pressure is what actually causes intense changes in the body that leads to symptoms, okay? So, I mean, one of the most common changes, increased muscle tension. But there are all sorts of physiological changes, as we know, that take place due to our emotional state. So basically, tension myoneural syndrome refers to all sorts of physical symptoms that result due to an emotional state. And for some people, the onset comes on quite unexpectedly, quite all of a sudden, after a specific distressing event, okay? Like they lose a loved one and a few months later they start getting intense back pain. Or they go through a horrible experience and eventually they start getting sciatica pain or leg pain out of the blue. Okay, so the onset is almost always related to either a really negative experience or a highly stressful time in one's life, like a change in lifestyle, like a change in career, moving to some other place, because all of these changes come with additional pressure, okay? And also one common trigger, let's say, is also relationship issues and conflicts, okay? So when we are in conflict with other people, or we live in fear of conflict, and then this triggers, this trigger might trigger mind-body syndrome, because we're so scared that we're going to fall out with this person. We're so scared of what might happen if we get rejected. So there are various situations that can lead to TMS. Sometimes it comes on suddenly. Sometimes we're just working out and then the next day we feel some pain and we think it's coming from our workout because we overdid it. But really, that workout served just as the kind of excuse for our brain to pick up on. Okay, really, it's coming from this buildup of tension, fear, worry, anxiety in the body, okay? And repressed emotions tend to be the number one culprit, because when we're not even acknowledging what we're feeling, when we're not even acknowledging our fears or our angers or our dissatisfaction with a specific area in our life, then we are just keeping it all inside, and somehow it has to have an outlet. And typically the symptoms are kind of a substitute for this repressed emotion. They're aimed at distracting us from it, maybe, or maybe they're also serving to warn us that, hey, there's something wrong here. So this is something I'd like you to take away from this lesson, to try and consider symptoms as being warning signals, okay? As not being your enemies, not another problem in your life, but hey, these symptoms are telling you something, okay? Now, they might be telling you that there's something you need to change and address. Okay, they might be telling you that you need to let go, that you need to decrease the pressure in your life, that you need to be kind to yourself. There are all sorts of things that these symptoms can be telling you. There might be also another factor, and this could be that these symptoms are just an overreaction because you somehow think that you're still in danger of a conflict, in danger of facing another negative situation or another stressful situation, okay? So that's another side to it that I'll explain later on. Okay. So, but today I just wanted to get clear on what we mean by mind-body syndrome and TMS, and that our own emotional state, especially when we are not in tune with it, might create symptoms as a distraction or warning signal from these emotions. Okay, and your task for today will continue on from day 1, actually. And your task for today will be now to take a look back in time and consider the period in your life before one of your most intense symptoms popped up, right? Or before your pain started. So if you have multiple symptoms, maybe you can just pick on the first symptom you first experienced, or the most intense symptom you've experienced, and ask yourself what was happening in your life in the year leading to that symptom, okay? So what kind of changes you are going through in your life, what kind of stressors, what kind of worries, okay? What kind of issues. Most people are able to identify an issue that created a lot of stress, worry, and pressure in their lives, okay? And just by doing that, you will kind of boost your confidence in the idea that, hey, your symptoms might have an emotional origin after all. Okay, so, and even if that issue is no longer a problem in your life now, there are other factors that, of course, you will need to be addressing, but at least just making the link between an event, a specific event, and your symptoms can help boost your confidence in the idea that your symptoms are TMS or mind-body syndrome, okay? And start to let go of the theory that maybe your body is just broken or weak, okay? So please share your insights in the comments if you'd like to participate in this challenge, and if you'd like to be in with a chance of winning free access to my pain-free breakthrough course. Okay, so that's all for today, and I'll see you again tomorrow with the last and most important lesson on pain conditioning. Bye-bye.